Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and this is my card for this week's Color Throwdown Challenge. So I'm using the My Favorite Things Friends in the Forest stamp set, and their new Extreme Black ink. I've used this ink on a previous video, and I think I'd done a little bit of watercoloring with that one, and it was fine. Lots of people asking me, you know, what my thoughts are with this ink. I stamped it today onto some Neenah 80-pound Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. This is my go-to cardstock for Copic coloring. This ink is perfectly compatible with alcohol ink markers, and it stamps really well. I am very happy with it. It's definitely in my top, three, I guess I would say, for the ones I reach for. I have the Simon Says Intense Black ink and the Hero Arts Intense Black, and then this MFT Extreme Black. Those three I think are awesome for Copic coloring, and you can also use them for watercoloring and whatnot too, because they are water resistant inks. So I kept my coloring really simple for this. The color challenge was craft, light blue, and white. So I used some Copic combinations to do this little bear from this Friends in the Forest set. He's so cute. I've actually had this set sitting out for a while because I've wanted to make a card with it for the longest time, because I just absolutely loved the little images in the set. So like I said, I stamped them on this Neenah Classic Crest, just this scrap of it, and then colored it in with my Copic markers, doing my go-to working from darkest to lightest. As always, you can work either way with these. You can go lightest to darkest to lightest, whatever you're most comfortable with. I just go darkest to lightest because it's easier, faster, and I don't have to blend as much. So after I did my coloring, I took my Uni-Ball white gel pen and added some little polka dots to the scarf of the bear, and I just went along and added a few little highlights here and there just to make everything pop. And then once the white gel pen was dry, which it dries extremely quickly, I'm going to tape my coordinating dies into place with just little pieces of washi tape. And I was going to die cut them immediately, but then realized I wanted to stamp and emboss one of the trees from the set. So I just have a scrap of some light blue cardstock here, and I had stamped one of the tree images with some VersaMark ink, and then I'm using Hero Arts white embossing powder. Melted that with my heat tool. And then I'm going to use the coordinating die on this as well. So again, taping it into place with my washi tape. I do this regardless. Like, I like taping my dies into place 99% of the time. It just kind of guarantees that nothing's going to move. And I'm using my Gemini Junior again. I am really enjoying this. Plus, I've literally made space, so it's like right on my desk. I don't know. I'm going to still be figuring things out, but so far, so good. So the sandwich stack, you technically do have to everything die face up. So that's what I did here. Doesn't bother me so far, but somebody was asking me about that. And you could still do, line everything up on the cutting plate at dies face down, and then just flip your sandwich over, if that makes sense. I can show that in a separate video down the road. So I have everything die cut. I used the Stitch Tag Corner Rectangle Die-namics on the white cardstock there. And I'd stamped one of the trees with the same light blue ink as the cardstock. This is Blue Breeze ink. And then I die cut some black cardstock with the new Hearts in a Row vertical Die-namics from MFT. And I just saved all the other little banners. I just ran it through all at once and die cut a bunch of them and just saved them in the pocket with that die set, because that's 99% of the time I'm going to use black cardstock, because that's what I just love the look of that. So I'd heat emboss one of the sentiments from the set onto that black cardstock. And then kind of figured out my placement of where I wanted to place everything. So I adhered the stamped and embossed tree flat to my card front here. Same with this little bear. And then the sentiment and the owl, I'm going to pop up with some foam tape. And I'm just using the little Derice foam strips. So pop the sentiment on with foam tape, and then cut down a little bit more of that foam tape onto my little owl so that I can pop him as if he's like kind of standing right above the owl word on the sentiment. And then I also decided to add some embellishment. So I pulled out these sparkly Doodlebug Bonbon glitter sprinkles, because the lightest color in this pack is very similar to Kraft. So stuck those on, and then I pulled out my MFT Dots and Stripes Neutrals 6x6 pattern paper pack, because some of the patterns in here are Kraft. So this polka dot one I cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. because my card base is the standard A2 card size, which is just heavyweight white cardstock. And to create my little inside scene, I'd actually stamped the bear image onto just a little post-it note and had trimmed it out to create a mask. So I'm stamping the bear with some craft ink, and then I'm going to mask it off with the mask I'd created so I can stamp the trees behind him with that same Blue Breeze ink. So I'm just going to ink up the trees and stamp them, and since I masked off the bear, it's going to look like he's standing in front of them. So a few seconds extra effort just to make the inside of the card look a little bit extra. So I had a strip of this pattern paper from cutting down the piece for the front. So I decided to stamp the sentiment onto that, and I cut a little flag end with my scissors. And then I had removed the mask from the bear and then adhered the strip with the sentiment. I'm going to trim that piece that's hanging off with my scissors. And then I'm going to adhere the pattern paper to the front of the card with my tape runner. So run the adhesive all along the perimeter and down the center of this so it's good and adhered to my card front. And then I actually added some foam tape to the back of the die cut tag corner rectangle. And I'm going to pop that onto my card, and that finishes off the card. So just quick and easy and fun for this color challenge. And I will have a link below the video to my blog post, and I'll have a link to the color challenge if you'd like to check it out, because everyone can play along, as well as links to all the supplies used. So check that out below if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting on my videos, and I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye!